Welcome back to the workshop. Today I'm going to show you how to make Link's bow in real life with simple household tools and all for less than $5 in materials. I'm starting today's build with a 45-inch length of 1/2 inch Schedule 40 PVC pipe, a void pipe that's been sitting in the sun since UV can make it brittle. Here's what I'm using. You can get by with a little more or a little less. I have a heat gun, a saw, a file and rasp, a scraper, a needle file, and some paracord for the string. If you have a real bowstring, or know how to make one, you should use that instead. I'm starting off by scraping away any ink left on the surface. This is going to give the bow a little bit of surface texture. Mark the center and 2 inches on either side. That's the handle area. Now mark the tips, 5 inches from the ends. Heat the PVC in a well-ventilated area, and avoid burning it with a heat gun, since that can ruin your bow by making it brittle. I'm heating the tips until they plasticize, and I can pinch the ends together with my gloves. I'm also slightly recurving the tips to around 45 degrees. Technically this is just tip reflex, and not full-on recurve, but anyway, don't add too much, and try to align the tips as much as you can. Once both tips are bent, we can cut away the excess with the saw, and eventually smooth out the remainder with a file. Now I'm using the heat gun on the bending portion of the limbs. We'll be adding a bit of deflex here to increase the stability. Finally, we'll reflex the handle a little bit for a 5-curve construction, vaguely similar to the shape associated with Scythian bows. Now it's time to cut some nocks so the bow can accept a bowstring. For the top loop, just tie a simple overhand knot. For the bottom loop, I like to use an adjustable timber hitch. This way you don't need to make the bowstring the exact right length. You can adjust it until the bow has the right brace height. As a good starting guess, make the string about 3 to 4 inches shorter than the bow, and adjust from there. I don't like an arrow shelf on my own bows, but if you don't want to shoot off of your hand, you should add one. The shelf will protect your hand from getting scratched up by the arrow. Here's my tutorial for an arrow shelf. You can also find it in the description of the video. Once we're sure the bow works and any issues are corrected, go ahead and finish the bow however you'd like. Leather dye is excellent for a faux wood effect. Most stains have a hard time sticking to the PVC, so it can help to freshen up the surface with a scraper, which also adds to the faux wood look. Finally, I'll cover the bow with a few coats of shellac, but you can use any polyurethane finish you'd like. Some finishes can dissolve the leather dye, so you may need to wipe it as the finish goes on. If you wipe off too much of the leather dye, just patch up that area and apply shellac again. With every coat of shellac, the leather dye will stick better. Today's project is fully functional, but more suited for cosplay, fantasy, or just backyard fun. If you want a more powerful bow, or you'd like to learn a lot more about bow making, then check out my other tutorials. The music for today's video comes from my awesome cousin in Uruguay, Marcos Topolansky Quintero. You can download his albums on iTunes or listen free on Spotify. Okay everyone, I'm done. Let me know if you have any bow making questions at all. And as always, tell me how your projects turn out. I love to hear about them. If you need any help with your bows, visit me at Reddit's bowmaking community, r/bowyer. I'll see you all in the next one. May the bow gods be with you, and may your arrows fly true.